I was challenged with an ACL. Kid played in the NFL. This is a great story. As a matter of fact, kind of led me to a lot of discoveries with a professional athlete. But he was running back, played for the Chargers. Ended up having did not dislocate his knee, but everything but. So towards ACL, PCL, MCL, LCL was intact. Had 2 surgeries. I got him about 9 months out. 9 months out of the surgery, I'd say. And he really hadn't been doing a lot, so it was a classic story of like, hey, I've been doing PT. My knee moves okay, but I can't really do anything. My leg's still small, etc. I want to get back to playing football. So, I'm not a guy to say, no, we can't do stuff. It's like, well, let's prove to me that you can, or prove to me that you can't. But either way, we're gonna see what it can handle. So we took him through some stuff, and a funny story was, early on I was like, he could squat. So I was like, okay, let's squat a little bit. And like, hey, have you, you've squatted before, so let's do some back squat. What do you feel comfortable with? He's like, well, I've never back squatted before. I'm like, well, back up a second. I thought you played in the NFL. He's like, yeah, I do. And like, where didn't you back squat? At least in college, I'm sure, in the NFL as well. And he's like, no. He goes, whenever they did that shit, I just left the weight room, man. Peace out. I'm not doing this, right? And, mind you, his other quad is bigger than both of my legs together, So I'm like, okay, clearly squatting is not the answer to developing leg strength with this population. That was my first indication of that. And then with hundreds of athletes and professional NFL guys since then, I come to realize that is squatting is not the only way to build that. Certainly it's a methodology, but that was pretty funny. So as we worked to build his leg back in this area of kind of VMO and quad strength and everything, we really went to using a retro walk, which became funny. He was a little guy, he's about 5'10", 230 pounds or so. I'm at about 5'10", 175 pounds at the time. So I used a bungee cord, like a sport cord band, and we wrapped 2 of them around him, and I had him. I was pulling him, and I told him, I said, "Hey, resist me, don't let me pull you." So he did, and we didn't go anywhere. He does no quad. Yeah, I still can't pull him, right? So I've got full lean back on this, and he's squatted down, and I eventually said, okay, let me win a little bit, but I want you to eccentrically walk towards me in this squatted position. And that was the first time I really used that exercise, and I had to because I had to find ways to really develop this quad strength and isolate it for him to return. And that worked beautifully. At the end of the day, he went back went back into the league, and then ended up playing for some other minor leagues in his future. But it was great to see him return. But that was where I started. Actually, I think it was a great way to build quad endurance. To your point earlier on physiological tendon change, I think we see eccentrics. Obviously, it's huge for that. So I love that eccentric sport cord walking, working a lot with ACLs. We also work a ton with our patella tendon, patellofemoral pain patients as well. It's a great way to kind of stimulate that strength. So.